Hello and welcome to AGA-CAD. Today we will speak about what's new for Revit users in cut opening process. In the very beginning of the webinar, I want to ask you to raise your hands if you can hear me and if you can see my screen. You can do that on the Go to Webinar dialog block on the right side of your monitor, I hope. Yes, I see that some of you can hear and can see my screen. That is very nice. So I'm starting the webinar. So today we will speak about the making openings in Revit models using Revit and additional software that is called cut opening. So my name is Jokubas Vaishvila. I'm MEP engineer and BIM application engineer here in AGA-CAD. And I'm certified Revit professional as well, and today I will lead you through all possibilities of the cut opening. So our mission as the AGA-CAD is building BIM together, which means that we align to our clients' needs and develop solutions for continuously BIM acceleration. Our promise to our clients is reducing BIM stress. We help to eliminate tasks that do not create value. In this webinar, I will try to show you how it works. So, in this webinar, you will learn how to quickly and easily manage the creation of openings where MEP line-based elements intersect some structural elements like walls, floors, ceiling, beams, columns, roofs, etc. So as well, we will learn how to automatically create different sizes of the openings for MEP line-based elements depending on MEP element characteristics like size, insulation, thickness, etc. We will learn how to define cut offsets, additional top or bottom offsets for each MEP line-based element. As well, we will learn how to apply our own standards of opening size requirements to the Revit project, and we will explore more possibilities of the updated cut opening. So our cut opening is updated, and it will be released today, and this is totally different cut opening than maybe you have or you heard about it. And from today we will have only the new cut opening version for all the new customers. So our cut opening defines and reserves spaces in Revit models for ducts, pipes, cable trays, and conduits. And structural engineers and architects can then review, revise, and create the approved holes with a click. So suitable openings are designed automatically based on the location and types of the clash detected for MEP elements in current, linked, or IFC files. So you can work with linked Revit files, or you can work with the IFC files as well in the workflow, as I will show you just in a second. So I don't want to speak about the cut opening literally, and I want to show to you the workflows and how it works in the real life. So if you will have any questions or any kind of feedback, you are able to write the questions in the questions tab in the Go to Webinar dialog block, and in the end of the webinar I will try to answer all of them. So I'm just jumping in the project, the really simple project, where you can find that I have different MEP categories like conduits, ducts, pipes, and cable trays. As well, I have ceilings, roofs, floors, walls, different styles of columns and different styles of beams, and I will try to work with them today. So at the very beginning, as the user of cut opening, I should know that the cut opening is using Autodesk Revit interference check information to insert the openings into the model. So the very first step of each of the users should be to run the interference check, and we should run them in accordance the categories. So on the left or the right side you have to click on MEP line based categories like cable trays, conduits, ducts and pipes, and on the other side you have to pick the clashing categories to which you want to run the interference check. So that could be ceilings, floors, roofs, structural columns, structural foundation, framing, sorry, and walls. So after this, after you want to see the clashes in between these elements, you can click OK, and you will see the whole report of the clashes that Revit found. So I can export everything onto my desktop. I will try. So I have the I letter in the front because I had the webinar in the morning today, sorry. So I will use these file names of I in the very beginning of it. So I'm saving that HTML file, and as you may know, the XML file has the information about the clash. So it has the IDs of elements, and in accordance to that we know the coordinates, the elevation and coordinates where the clash is. So after this, talking literally, we can read the interference check data and we can insert. But before this, we have to go to Mep Opening Configurations, where all new configurations could be set. So I will show to you what kind of configurations we have developed, and I think that will make sense for you. So as you can see here on the left side, we have different categories and the different classifications of the elements, and all of these different classifications and categories of elements could have different opening configurations. So it doesn't mean that we will have only one configurations for all pipes, but we divided all the pipes into different segments that will have different inner configurations. So let's go here and let's check what kind of configurations we have added. So we have added the configurations we can add additional offsets, not for all pipes that has other for all pipes other, but we can define the ranges from which diameter to which diameter we want to add some kind of cut offset. For example, if I want to add this offset for the pipes that are from 0 to 1 inch, so I will use such cut offset, and if I will go for the range from 1 to 2, so I will use the cut offset like this. Anytime user could change the opening shape from rectangular to round or vice versa, it doesn't matter. As well, we have additional top and bottom offsets that are not dependent on the main cut offset. So you can find all the pictures right here and all the representation of our parameters, and I hope you will find that information right here. So anytime if you still need some additional information, so we are giving the default configuration that has only such amount of ranges, but if it's needed you can add your own new configurations from two cut offsets, the rectangular or round opening shapes, additional top and bottom offsets, and that is parameterized openings, and in accordance to this all the openings will be inserted into the model in accordance these configurations. As well, we added some additional parameters to the joining openings, like we have the same ranges for openings from from some size to the some size. As well, we have the intersection offset. That means how near should be two elements to have one hole for both of them. As well, if we want to have auto joining functionality or not. As well, we have the interference check that comes from the last version of our cut opening. So we have this interference check. That means that do we need to cross over the wall? So do I need to go through the wall, the MEP line based element, to cut the opening, to cut the hole in that wall? So if you need full intersection, just click here. If you don't need, just turn off this feature. And as well, as you can see, we have additionally added parameters over there. So we added new parameters, new markings for each of the elements, for each of the categories and types over there. So if I have, for example, the pipe over, the solution will automatically add the marking. That means pipe stands for pipes and O stands for over. If I will go to hydronic, I will get the pipe that stands for pipe and H stands for hydronic. So this is really nice. As well, we have added additional parameters like elevation calculation, and that will be calculated instantly while you will insert the openings. The elevation of elements will be calculated, and we have a lot of different possibilities to calculate the elevation, and one of these is the calculation system. So from where we want to calculate the elevation. So we have three different possibilities to calculate: from the global 0 point, that stands for shared system. We can calculate from the 0 project point, that stands for the system project. As well, we can calculate the elevation from the level where the opening will be inserted. And as well, we can choose the elevation position on our opening. So that means we can calculate from the bottom of the opening, from the center of the opening, or from the top of the opening. And these parameters will be inserted in accordance to the main settings, that stands for marking, shape, and elevation. So after we will insert these parameters, after we will insert the openings, you will see these parameters. I will show you. As well, we have the insulation settings. So if I'm going to work only the insulation that is 0, so it's okay. We have all prepared stuff over there because the insulation thickness is 0. But if I will try to create a new insulation thickness right here, and if I will go over there, my insulations do not have information about the opening. So again, we have the new parameters, new parameterized opening sizes. So that means, again, we can add new ranges, new cut offsets, because sometimes you need different cutting offsets than you have the insulation when you do not. So we have added such parameterized stuff inside of our project. So after this, as you can see, we have different configurations. So after you set your needed configurations, you click OK. The solution asks you, do you want to save? Yes, of course I want to save, and I will save that as a ABC name. So I'm saving the configurations, and the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read that interference check report that I get from Revit. I will read that with our cut opening solution. So here we have to choose the configuration according which we will try to insert the openings into the model. As well, I will try to browse for the file with a name that starts with I. Okay. And here we will get some reports about missing configurations, about rejected openings, and so on and so on. So we have the eHelp where will you be able to find all messages described about our cut opening. So here in this place you can find that we are missing opening configuration for insulation that is 0 inches and pipe hydronic size 150. So we can just do like this to see our element somewhere here in the model. So we have dynamic section box that cuts all the elements around the model, and you can find these elements. As well, we can add missing settings for configurations by clicking add all if we will have more lines over there, or I can use this. After this, we can review all the missing configurations that were added. So I want to say that our new cut opening versions become, as I used to say, it gets intelligence, and it automatically can create new configurations for you. So if you forget to do something, and if you forget to create new configurations, the cut opening could do that instead of you. So let's go and review configurations, and you have to follow the red bubbles, and you will see that red bubbles is going here, here, and here. So we added new configurations that stands from 4 inches to 8 inches, and we can choose wherever we want, like 2 inches for the pipe hydronic, the cut offset, the joining distances for them, the interference check, full interference is required or not, and so on. After this, I will close, and I have 2 different possibilities after this. I can go to the next button that will allow me insert only the not excluded elements. So if we will not add some of these and we will use next button, it will never insert the openings for these elements that do not have configuration still. And if I will go to the next button, it will insert openings to all of these needed elements, or not needed, but to all the elements that requires the openings. But they will get some more information that they do not have configurations and so on. So I will show you just in a second after this example. So I'm going to click on the next, and we will see that we have again a little bit similar dialog as the previous cut opening version. We have new the markings, we have cut offsets, we have additional top bottom offsets. As well, we have the possibility to group the elements in accordance to level, category, family, or some selected parameters, like if I need to use the marking or something like this. Going to cable trace default and the marking CT, and I have all the elements over there. So after you check all needed parameters, you have to save the data view as XML file, and here in this place we can speak a little bit about the BIM team, the Building Information Modeling team. So the cut opening is really perfect tool for the BIM teams, because MEP engineer could save the file as the XML file, iXML, and I'm saving that. And after, as the MEP guy, I can send this information with all cut offsets, additional top bottom offsets, and so on and so on. I can send that information to my structural engineer, and then the structural engineer could approve and insert those opening using the same cut opening solution. So I'm going to insert the file. So I'm looking for the iXML file, and I'm going to do the next. And as you can see, I have all the information that comes from the MEP guide to to me as the structural guy, and I can insert all the elements into the model. So I'm inserting that into the model, and I have something about 200 of elements, and yes, that can take some time, but I can say for you that we increased the speed of cut opening. The older version was a little bit slower, and the new version is working on the new engine, which is really more powerful, more speedy, and more intelligent. So it works really faster and nicer. From my point of view, I don't know how it's from your. I suggest you to try this solution just in a few days, and you will see. So let's check what do we have. So we inserted the openings into the models everywhere. Oh, sorry. So we have the openings, we have the additional top offsets, we have the cut offsets, and so on. As well, I want to mention that this solution added some new parameters, like for the BIM team, for the BIM managers exactly, that they will know who inserted the opening, so inserted by parameter, the insertion configurations, according what configuration all the openings were inserted, and the insertion date as well you can find here. If you will scroll down, you will find the opening marking, like if I have the cable tray, so the marking is CT. We have the opening shape, as well we have the opening elevation. So this is how the cut opening could work with all structural elements. So I had 4 different MEP elements, and I had all structural elements that are supported by our solution. But if I will go to the next project, this is really simple project, you can see that I have a lot of different pipes. So I have the hydronic pipe, I have the domestic hot water pipe, I have the domestic cold water pipe, I have fire protection pipes, I have sanitary, and so on and so on. So again, I can do the same. I can run the interference check in between cable trays, ducts, conduits, and pipes, in between walls, for example, and I will try to export that. Okay, I will write I will save that, I will close, and I'm going to read the information, for example, the default configurations. And you will see what's going then. We have a lot of different stuff, and we cannot manage that everything in our heads, and the cut opening solution is suggesting us to do some configuration. So I can go and add some configurations to my default configurations, then I can review them, and you can see that I added such diameters and such cut offsets, such joining of offsets, and so on and so on. I have added here something as well here, and so on and so on. But I will leave these missing configurations not added, and I will use skip functionality. And again, I have the same dialog. I will try to save that as the IXML2, for example. Okay, I save that, and I'm going back to Revit. And as the structural engineer, I'm going to insert that to the model. I'm using that XML file. Okay, I have it, and I'm just straightly working because you saw all the workflow before, and I just want to show some more examples for these elements. And after the insertion, as you can see, all the elements are inserted, and in all the places we can find the openings where the MEP line-based elements cross the wall. or any structural element. But as you saw before, all of these elements has the insertion configuration, like the name of configuration in according which all the openings were inserted. And if I will go here, maybe not here. Here we have the default configurations. Yeah, we can check here. So you can see here, but that we have no configurations for such openings. So anytime your BIM manager or you can check how you did the openings in accordance to which configuration. So the configurations could be saved for the future work, and you can work with that really easily. As well, you can add some additional parameters to the families, just going to the families like this. You can change the offsets. You can add some additional top or bottom. Okay, let's try to add 4. You can add additional inches. Sorry, I'm from Europe, so I do not know how to use these inches and so on. So I'm very sorry about that. But it is working in a model as well. I want to say that you can auto join the openings just using simple join opening configuration, and it will find the extremus of your openings, and it will auto join these 2 openings as well. The other thing that I want to say, that anytime you will do some changement in your project, for example, you will move MEP elements or you will move structural elements, we have MEP Opening Revisions, and you will see what's going on with your openings. We have the change cut offset, we have change position, so I can go and modify that, and you will see that my opening just pop back to the needed place. It popped back to the place where it was inserted before. And if I, for example, will delete some of these, I can go and I can check that in the Mep Opening Revision, and I can see that some of them were deleted, and I will update the model, and you will see that no openings remains in this model right now. So this is the workflow, how to insert the openings into model, and I want to mention again that this is perfect BIM team tool, because you can work with linked files, you can work with IFC files. The second thing what our solution could do is insert fire dampers to the places where ducts reaches some structural elements, the fire rating. So at the very beginning we have to map host element types to the duct accessories. So I have some walls, here could be some fire rating, and here you can add needed families. After this we are going to insert fire dampers. Again, that will be done in the same way using the HTML file, and it will automatically distribute all the elements in accordance to the walls and in accordance to mapped elements. So I will click OK. I have 6 elements here. No, I don't want to work further. Let's check that from the 3D view. And as you can see, okay, I will turn the mechanical view, and as you can see I have the fire damper right here. So our solution could insert not only the openings, but it can insert fire dampers into the project just by a click. And the last example, but not the worst, what I wanted to show to you is this kind of a situation when you have structural elements not linked, and the architectural linked model where all the windows and doors are placed, and you have to cut the openings and in the same places where these windows and doors are placed. So I suggest you to use our cut opening solution to insert the structural openings into the structural model. So it finds all needed elements like windows and like doors, and while I'm clicking OK, it is automatically creating the new types of the doors, and I'm clicking that and I'm inserting those. I'm continue and I will insert windows right now. I'm clicking OK, and as you can see, all the windows and the doors were inserted into the model like this. Okay, something wrong with something. Maybe with imperial units, I hope so. But it doesn't matter. I will check that, and I think we will fix that tomorrow. It doesn't matter. So that is kind of all what I wanted to say to you today. And I'm going back to my presentation. And the cut opening is only one of our big bucket of tools, so but not the worst, and it is really nice and really high quality tool. And we have a lot of different tools, so if you want, you can visit our webpage aga-cat.com, and you can find all these tools in one shortcut to all tools, to all trials, to all updates and more. So we named that Tools for BIM Doc. You can download it, and you can get a free trial for 14 days. So visit www.aga-cat.com to download the Tools for BIM Doc. Just short information, the short last sentences. The new cut opening solution is created using new engine, and it is more powerful, more intelligent, and has a lot of new features. So information for the current cut opening users: please finish the current project before installing a new cut opening version, or please use the current cut opening version for the project that you started before, because new cut opening version engine does not support the older version of inserted openings. So just a simple information for all our users. And thank you for attention, and now it's the time for Q&A, questions and answers. And if you have any questions, please write them on the right side into the GoToWebinar dialog block, and I will try to answer them just right now. Gustavo is asking or just commenting, I'm not sure. So in some cases we use the next diameter of the tube to cut opening directly on a structural floor. Is it possible to use the diameters list from the MEP configuration to configure the openings? I mean, use the next diameter on the list instead of a cut offset. No, we do not have such possibility, but if you will do that manually once, you can save these configurations, and you can work in such a way just easily. Brandon is asking, does the opening of the cut wall show a hidden line, or do we need to manually place a hidden line to show that there is a wall under the cut objects? I see you have a X but no hidden lines. We have different representations of our openings. If I will maybe, yes, I have some of them. So as you can see, we can have such representation as you can see here. As well, I can ask the solution through the type properties to use the filled region, and all the openings will be just colored the black hatch. So we have the possibility to use different representations of the openings, like you see right now. Before we had only the lines, and now we have hatched regions over there. Victor is asking, so openings are not inserted in an MEP model where architect and structural are linked. So if you are going to work with the linked files, you have to insert the opening straight in a real elements like real walls, real floors, real ceilings, and so on. So you can run the interference check in a linked file, but if you want to place these openings in architect's model, you have to open that architect's model that consists of real elements and insert those opening into the real model. Thank you for the question, Victor. Mike is asking, will this webinar be available for download to show my other users? Yes, Mike. I recorded this session, and you can contact me straightly, and I will send you the link to our YouTube channel, so you can write an email to me by jokubas@aga-cad.com, and I will share that YouTube link with you, and you will share that YouTube link with your colleagues. That's not a big deal. So I do not see more questions. Maybe someone is hesitating to ask something. Okay, oh yeah, I see. Abdo is asking, the application is based on interference check, which means that after applying it to the project, I believe a check up for the project should take place, right? So if we will do right now, again, the interference check, for example, for ducts and walls, no interference check will be detected, because in these places we inserted some kind of void family, and it is cutting the wall or any structural element, the real. It is cutting really, so it's not only the graphical representation, but it is inserting the void family, and in accordance to this, all your schedules will be changed, all your material takeoffs, for example, of the walls will be changed, and so on. So it is inserting the real families, and it is taking the real place in the model. Maybe someone else has some questions that I can answer. So if you will have any questions in the future, or if you will have any feedback on this or on the other of our solutions, do not hesitate to contact me straightly. We are very flexible, and we are aligned to our customers' needs. So a lot of our tools were created just with our customers and in advance to their needs, and this is one of the great examples that you can see today, like cut opening. So thank you a lot. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you to have a nice day and nice evening, and tomorrow to have a nice weekend. Goodbye.